It happened on a quiet winter morning, the kind where even the air feels like it's holding its breath. Snowflakes drifted like slow, motion feathers outside the tall glass windows of the Carrington estate, home of one of the richest men in the country. Inside, the world was silent, too silent, the kind of silence that comes before truth is revealed. On the fourth floor, in the master bedroom, a man lay sprawled across a king-sized bed. Diamond cufflinks still on, phone dim beside his hand, shoes dusted with city frost. He looked unconscious, almost dead, completely still. But he wasn't. His eyes were closed by choice, his breath smooth, controlled, intentional. Because this morning, billionaire Adrian Holt wasn't sleeping. He was watching, testing, waiting for her. Not a business partner, not a suspicious board member, not a gold-digging socialite, but the maid's daughter, a girl who should have had the world, but instead worked for it with blistered palms and tired bones. Her name was Leela, and Adrian wanted to see what she did when she thought no one was watching. He didn't expect what happened next. He didn't expect it to change him. He didn't expect it to break him. And he sure as hell never expected her kindness to cost her everything she had left. The door creaked open just past 6:42 a.m. Soft footsteps, gentle breathing, a nervous pause. Leela stood in the doorway, small, thin, wrapped in a sweater 2 sizes too big. Her mother's uniform smelled faintly of bleach and lavender, and every morning Leela borrowed it like armor. Her eyes scanned Adrian's still body, not with greed, not with calculation, but with concern. She wasn't supposed to be here. Only her mother handled the upper suites. But today her mother was sick, too sick. So Leela came in her place, to clean, to care, to work. And as she approached the bed, she hesitated, not like a thief, but like someone stepping around something sacred. Most people, seeing a billionaire seemingly unconscious, would have searched the room, taken something shiny, tested temptation. But Leela did something else. She pulled a blanket up onto his shoulder, tucked it under gently, like she was protecting him from the cold. She brushed hair from his forehead, not like a maid, but like someone who cared about human warmth more than money. Then, the part that shattered him, she whispered, "I hope you're okay. Sir, even rich hearts deserve kindness." Adrian felt his breath hitch, and he nearly broke character right there. Because no one spoke that way about him, not for years, not without wanting something in return. She stepped back, scanning the room, but instead of pocketing anything, she did the unthinkable. She noticed the billionaire's expensive wristwatch resting on the bedside table, gleaming like temptation itself. Leela picked it up. Adrian's heart thundered. Was this the moment she stole from him? But then, she walked to his wardrobe, opened the drawer, and put the watch away, locked the drawer, returned the key to the dish by the lamp, and whispered again, "People like you have things worth losing, so I'll protect them, even if no one protects me." Adrian Holt, ruthless tycoon, feared negotiator, man with a heart built from armor, felt something crack inside, a billionaire pretending to sleep, a girl protecting what wasn't hers. This was the moment the story truly began. Before I take you deeper, if you believe in kindness, empathy, second chances and humanity, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Stories Hub. Your support keeps stories like this alive and heard. Leela wasn't meant for servitude. She was meant for books, for light, for chalk dust on her fingertips, from writing equations across bright whiteboards. She once dreamt of becoming an architect, her notebooks filled with drawings of homes she wanted strangers, poor ones, forgotten ones, to live in. Homes with windows tall enough to let hope in. But life is rarely gentle to the kind. Her father died in a factory accident when she was 12. Her mother, once fiery, brilliant, full of laughter, was reduced to cleaning the homes of the wealthy to pay off debts left like ghosts on their table. Leela abandoned school to work beside her mother, not because she was forced, but because she refused to watch her mother break alone. She mopped floors like she was scrubbing sadness away. She polished silver like she was polishing her future. And she collected coins like minutes, Small, precious, never enough. Her dreams didn't die. They were simply folded, placed high on a shelf, waiting for a day she believed might never come. She had nothing, yet she gave everything. That was Leela. Adrian Holt built his empire like a fortress, brick by brick, deal by deal, crushing competition with sharp smiles and colder decisions. He believed the world was transactional. No kindness without price. No loyalty without strings. People betrayed him. Employees stole. Partners lied. He lost love once and never risked it again, so he tested everyone. Trust had to be earned. Under pressure, under temptation, under watchful silence. But Leela didn't know she was being tested. And when Adrian finally woke up, voice hoarse with deception, "Leila, is that you?" She startled, flushing red. "Oh, Mr. Holt! I'm sorry. I shouldn't be here. I was just..." He sat up slowly, studied her. Instead of thanking her, he set another challenge, cruel, calculated, unfair. "I need someone to watch over this room while I shower. Don't let anything be touched." He left his wallet on the table. Bulging, crisp bills visible, a temptation meant to break her. Then he walked out, closing the door behind him. 10 minutes of hidden camera. 10 minutes to watch her soul. 10 minutes to judge her worth. He didn't expect what she did next. Because when she turned, she didn't look at the money. She looked at the framed photo on his nightstand. A woman with dark hair and bright eyes, smiling like summer. Leela picked it up with reverent fingers, held it like treasure, and whispered, "She's beautiful. You must miss her." Adrian stopped breathing behind the surveillance screen, because that was his wife, his late wife, the only person he ever trusted, and now by a stranger, honored, not for value, but for memory. Leela didn't look at the money again. She placed the photo back carefully, straightened the frame, then did something beyond unexpected. She left a small folded note beside it. He wouldn't read it until later, but when he did, it would change everything inside him. Adrian returned to the room with cold authority, expression stiff, voice neutral. "Did you touch anything?" Leela swallowed. "Yes." The single word cracked through him like fractured glass. He hardened, ready to confront, ready to accuse. "What did you touch?" She held his gaze, not trembling, not lying. "The photo on your nightstand. I didn't mean to invade your privacy." She just looked full of light. He stared at her, silent. Because she confessed, not out of fear, but truth. He opened the drawer. Everything was untouched. He checked his wallet. Every bill crisp. Every card present. She hadn't stolen anything. Instead, she gave something. He picked up the folded note with a frown, unfolded it, then read again. In soft handwriting, "You don't have to carry grief alone. Even the strongest hearts deserve rest." Something inside him shattered quietly. Pain long buried surged like a wave-breaking stone. Adrian Holt, billionaire, untouchable, steel-hearted tycoon, sat on his bed and wept. Not loud, not dramatic, just broken. Leela froze, unsure whether to approach or flee. But then she placed a warm hand on his shoulder, and for the first time in years, he let someone touch him without flinching. He didn't fire her. He promoted her, not out of pity, but recognition. He made her assistant to the head of staff, raised her pay, paid for her mother's treatment. But Leela was confused, grateful, but lost. "Why?" she asked him one evening, staring out the library window where city lights shimmered like fallen stars. Adrian answered not as a billionaire, but as a man rediscovering humanity. "You gave when you had nothing. You protected what wasn't yours to guard. You saw me, not my money." Leela's eyes softened like evening sun. "And you saw me, not my poverty." He nodded, slow, quiet, healing. From that day, things changed. Leela returned to night classes. Adrian funded her education anonymously. She studied architecture again, hope returning like spring. And Adrian, he began showing up in rooms he once ignored, staff lunchrooms, gardens where workers laughed, kitchens where hands smelled of bread and effort. He listened. He learned. He softened. Her note became a stone in his pocket, always there, worn by thumb. Months passed. Leela stood beside a tall model of a building, her first major design, glass towers with rooftop gardens and open spaces for families who couldn't afford beauty. Adrian stood beside her. "You built hope," he whispered. "You funded it," she replied. He shook his head. "No, you inspired it." Together, they created something extraordinary, a housing project for low-income families. Not charity, opportunity. Leela's childhood dream, the dream she buried beneath mops and dishwater, stood tall in shimmering steel. She cried. He did too, quietly, like a man who finally understood his place in the world. And the world noticed. Not him. Her, the maid's daughter, now architect, now builder, now giver of hope. Sometimes the world tests the poor to see if they'll break. But sometimes, rarely, beautifully, it tests them to witness the strength inside them. A billionaire pretended to sleep to test a maid's daughter. He expected greed. He expected weakness. Instead, he found grace. He found truth. He found the piece of humanity he thought he lost with his wife. Some people measure wealth in dollars. Others measure wealth in heart. And in the end, it was Leela who proved which one truly matters. If this story touched you, even gently, please like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Stories Hub. Tell us in the comments, what is the greatest kindness you've ever witnessed? Your story might be the next one we tell.